Hey everybody, it's Friday, about 10:15 Pacific time. I just wanted to do a little midday analysis on Apple. It is Friday, so we have some options expiring today, and I want to kind of talk about it because we have, a lot of max pain going on lately with Apple and where it pins on Fridays. So I kind of want to talk about that a little bit today. In the bigger context of kind of where Apple is, let's actually just real quickly switch here. So I've got a lot of drawings kind of going on, but as you can see, Apple kind of broke down below this 394, 390 and came all the way down to 380 this morning, but then put in this bottoming tail and it's kind of started to head back up. I find it really interesting that it's still below 390. So I think that as long as it stays below 390, I think, I'm going to personally have a slightly bearish lean on Apple, and above 390 I'll switch it, but I'm kind of waiting for it to, wait and see whether it's going to stay below 390 or not. When we look at the intraday chart, I find it interesting that it gapped up slightly and then pulled back, and now it's kind of come back up. It's currently up a couple dollars, only a couple dollars. Meanwhile, the S&P futures and the NASDAQ, actually the NASDAQ just made new highs, is up 56 points. The S&P futures are up 26 points. So compared to the market, Apple isn't really performing that well. It's actually underperforming the market, as it did yesterday as well. So it's kind of just hanging out. When we look at the Analyze tab, this is the trade I have on right now, but when we look at the Analyze tab and we look at the options that are expiring today, I find it interesting when we look at the volume here. We've got 37,000 contracts traded today on this November 385. And a ton of contracts as well traded today at the November 390. When we come over here, we've got a ton of put contracts traded at the 385 as well. So for all these put contracts to expire worthless, it would have to close above 385. And for all of these 385 call options to expire worthless, it would have to close right at 385 as well. So even though the market's lifting, I wouldn't be surprised if Apple did some kind of, sell off this afternoon to come close to pin 385 strike, just because I couldn't imagine having 37 and by the end of the day it'll probably be like 40 or 50,000 contracts expire in the money. I don't see that happening. There's too much manipulation with Apple stock, and there's too many people out there probably selling these options. And normally when there's huge volume like this, they'll pretty much expire worthless. So my kind of like prediction is that Apple closes within a quarter or 50 cents of this 385 strike. That's what I'm thinking right now. So as I said, I think it's going to expire at this 385 range, and I'm looking at it right now, and I'm actually going to place a couple orders here to sell these 385s and buy these 390s. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. So I'm going to get about a $2 credit for that trade. I'm going to sell 5 of them. And so when we look at the risk profile of that, I'm going to kind of get rid of everything and just show you what this is. So here's the trade. At 385, you get to pretty much keep all that premium. Anywhere above this 386.5, you start to lose a little bit. So it's got a nice positive theta. And basically I'm just kind of looking for Apple to make a down move before the end of the day to 385. I'm going to put an order out right now to close this trade down at, I'll close a couple of them down at $1. I'll close a couple more down at 50 cents to 75 cents. And it looks like Apple might even be moving down now. And you can see the trade's already up $50 since I got into it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and go back to the option chain. Go here, and I'm going to put in an order to buy a vertical because I just sold it. I'm going to put in an order to buy this vertical back at $1. So I sold it for $2. I'm going to buy it back for $1, and I'm going to do 2 of those. So you can see I have these orders kind of sitting out on my screen here. You can see Apple's already starting to make its move down. So probably would have been a better deal, to sell it up in here at the highs. I probably could have got $2.50 or $2.75 for it, but I'm fine with a $2 credit. And let's take a look at my risk profile here. So as you can see, I sold 5 of them for $2, brought in about $1,000 credit. I'm already $350 up on the trade in, 15 minutes? And right now, because it's moved down, I'm burning about 110, 112 theta. And as it moves down a little bit more, I'll be burning more and more theta. So my theta will increase, especially as the day goes by, because these options are expiring today. So let's move back here. You can see these, which were just trading for over $2, are now trading for $1.40, $1.46. And I should be filled on my first lot, buying them back at $1.25, the spread, in any second now. And you can see as Apple moves down, these 385 puts, which were just selling for 40 cents, are now selling for 60 to 71 cents. That is quite a big spread on this, 9 cents on this contract. You can see the market makers are really aggressive with taking people's money on the spread here. So as you can see, Apple continued to move down, and we got filled on our first 2 contracts for over a 50-cent profit, and should get filled pretty much any second here. There we go. So you heard that get filled there. So I originally sold 5 of those credits. I got 1 left, and I'm going to kind of see how Apple behaves here at the 385 mark. As you can see, it's still kind of coming down. So I could even get filled here in the next couple minutes. And I mean, this was a quick trade because I put this on, at 10:15, and it's only 10:30 now, and 15 minutes into the trade, and we're already kind of closing it down for a profit. And there we go. We just got filled on our last bit. And again, that all came out of using this max pain theory that, hey, there were over 30,000 calls traded today, and there's no way that those calls, over 30,000 of them, were going to expire with that much, credit. So that was the play that I made, that, I thought it was going to drop back down low and squeeze everybody out of these calls. And sure enough, that's what it did. Now that it's moving down, you could sell these puts and bring in $1 credit there, but I'm going to leave the trades as it was. I'm probably done trading for the day. And I know that was kind of an aggressive move that I just did, but you can see that within 20 minutes it worked. So that's, people often ask, how do you play Max Pain? So that is how you play Max Pain.